Hi guys. Tonight we're going to make huckleberry pie. Now, a lot of people think that huckleberries and blueberries are the same thing. Not true. Huckleberries is a wild blueberry. They're about the size of peas. Huckleberries and blueberries have pretty much a completely different taste. If you ever had huckleberry pie, you'd never go back to blueberry pie, I guarantee you. Huckleberries grow wild, mostly in the Northwest, but the ones I have here come from Maine. I remember whenever I was a kid, the company's still there, but we had a company called the House of Webster, and they made jams and jellies, all kinds of preserves and stuff for Christmas time and sold them as Christmas baskets. And when I was a kid, my dad used to take all of us kids out to the woods and we'd find a big huckleberry patch and we would pick huckleberries all day long. And let me tell you, it took pretty much all day long just to make 1 gallon. It would take all of us all day long for 1 gallon because the berries are so small. But we used to pick them when we were kids. My dad would take them down and you got really good pay for them. But he would sell them to the House of Webster and they were made into jellies and jams that went into that year's Christmas baskets that went into the House of Webster stores. If you want to know more about the House of Webster, just look for the House of Webster in Rogers, Arkansas. And they should have a website, but you'll see the company. And I'm pretty sure they're still there. I haven't been down that way in a few years. So anyway, if you ever have huckleberry pie, you'll know the difference. Let me tell you, it's a lot different. So we're going to start out with 5 cups of wild huckleberries. Blueberries is a huckleberry grows on a bush about 1 foot to 1.5 to 2 feet tall. Blueberries grew on bushes that could go up to 4 to 5 foot tall, and blueberries used to be about this size too back in the day. In the early 1900s, a lady decided, before blueberries became a big thing in the open market, she went out and dug up wild blueberry plants and she crossbred them with other stuff and grafted plants, and that's how, this was probably about 1912, and she domesticated them, and this is how the modern day blueberry was born. Naturally they're not that big. They're about this size, maybe a little bit bigger, but not much. But the modern day blueberry is actually man-made. Huckleberries has always been natural, and I don't think they will ever change those. But the flavor is just amazing. So I'm going to add 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of allspice. Some people use cinnamon. I like allspice. Then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. Then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of butter, room temperature, softened butter. And then we need to get this all mixed up. A lot of people wait until their pie is in the shell and then they put like 3 dabs of butter on top of the pie. I don't like doing that. I mix my butter right in with the pie because I want the butter all through the pie. All right, we're going to preheat our oven. All right, now we got all that mixed together and we're going to cover that and move it to the side so we can work on our crust. I'm going to preheat my oven to 450 degrees for now. Okay, so I made my pie shells a little earlier in the day because I didn't want this video to end up so long. Gonna get that in there. Now we got the bottom shell in there. Now we're going to pour the blueberries in. And I like a lot, or the huckleberries, listen at me. And I like a lot of filling. All right, let's get that smoothed out. My gosh, doesn't that look good? Now, we're going to work on the top crust. A little flour on it. Spread it out just a little. I don't want to do this too much. Now, I'm going to use my spin roller on this and I'll show you why. Start here and go up. Here and go up. All right, fold it over. Bring your pie over. Believe me, it can get a little messy. All right, then we cut the extra crust off around the edges. Ooh. And I'll have to put a pan under this once I put it in the oven. All right. Good enough. I'm making a pie, not a beauty contest. All right, now we're waiting for the oven. This is a little thing I got you. When you make your pie shelf, you roll it on there, it'll stretch out like a lattice panel. But I didn't put this back in the refrigerator and let it chill long enough, and it tore a little bit. All right. Now, I have my pie on a cookie sheet. I have my pie on a cookie sheet, and we're going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes at 450 degrees. After 15 minutes, we're going to cut it down to 350 and bake the pie for 30 to 40 minutes. Could be a little bit longer, a little less, depends on your oven. Okay guys, here it is. The overboil tore up my lattice panel a little bit, but it's still boiling a little bit, so as soon as it's cool, we'll cut ourselves a piece of huckleberry pie. That's about as country as Loretta Lynn. Alright guys, let's try to cut us a piece of this. It's still a little bit warm. I may have to let it cool a little more. But a little bit. Ooh, look at there. Look at there. Doesn't that look? I can't wait to tear into this. Well, guys, I hope that you try huckleberry pie because there's nothing like it. These were a gift from my oldest sister, not the one that brought me blueberries 2 weeks ago. This is my oldest sister who brought me 6 pounds of wild huckleberries a couple of days ago. So I appreciate all of them, let me tell you, because this is my favorite foods. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.